does this all mean? Pain of birth, good times, the trip is over. Animal brain, mankind living, minimal to opulent. Who is right? Why a meaning? They want everything minus the good. Good to know ya, be good. Umbrella arm span. Brain matter tingles, they search for feeling. Avoid unpleasurable to the point of losing freedom, family, resources. You know better than this, the vessel is constantly abused. Food choices, entertainment, options, spiritual punching bag. Energy force field depletes. Bring the help. Press on for improvement. Emanate motivation. Fortress wall, togetherness. Warmth, compassion, unity, love, joy, working through day with a smile. This causing others to smile. Frowns flip. Souls whistle. Holding hands skipping. On the way to share path to enlightenment. Functioning towards targeted purpose. Enjoy living in universe together. Trust issues with those in authority. Make majority living off land. Isn't possible now. To navigate in world as it currently exists. Rules that contain rules. Power trippers gainfully employed in wrong career. Fantastical faith, vibrations humming in harmony. Light, airy, fuzzy connections. With people it's overpopulated. Was it ravaged by previous generations? Those that know they're gone before it's irreversible by those previous departments. Those that know they gone before operations become irreversible. Greed-fueled destruction. War murders for profit. You get taxed for the privilege to profit. With boundaries give back to future existences. Deed with good intentions. Be translucent. Let it happen. Happily has negativity mixed into it. You can't have happily without being ultra low, and you can't have ultra high without being ultra medium. Ultra you overuse while being altruistic. So they say the Taliban changed. That they are respecting women now, and that they're okay that they took over Afghanistan. The second America left, they just swooped right in, like so quick. It's probably just a tweet or something that got them all rallied up. Go and storm the gates. But it's interesting. I don't know. I guess, are we going back? Should we go back? Is it our issue to make sure that they do not have power over there? But I mean, I guess the consulate left. They took over the consul. It's just anarchy in the streets. But they said they're a changed Taliban. So we shall see. I don't know if that matters. I mean, society's kind of weird, you know. They don't. If you go to jail or something, if it's on your record, it doesn't just go away and you're a changed man. It's always there and you got to prove differently. So I think when you're talking about military and war and taking over countries, it's a little bit different.
I read this article about this girl about 2 weeks ago from Poland who won a silver medal in javelin, and she had heard about a baby in her country that needed heart surgery. Obviously, or not obviously, but assumingly, in Poland, they don't have that good a baby heart doctor. And the mother needed almost $400,000 to have the surgery done in Stanford, California. Well, she put her silver medal up for auction. And the dude who won the auction paid for the heart surgery, and she got to keep the medal. That's what it's about.
Episode 25. Pretty stoked. It's a lot of work making it happen. Basically, thoughts out loud, insights to help improve your life, movie reviews, books, just positivity. Usually, I kind of go on these ramblings. They're, somewhat poetry, somewhat Zen Buddhism, somewhat Tao Te Ching, somewhat, things I thought or heard about. Just trying to make the world a better place. And, there's only so many ways you can do it. This week saw a really cool movie, Walking the Edge, with Robert Forrester. It's good. It's old. It's from the 80s. Super low budget, like no budget, low budget. And I'd recommend it. All hell broke loose when they stopped. It's interesting, kind of crime thriller sort of thing. But oldie but goodie, kind of hidden gem. I'd peep it out. Also saw from David Fincher, Zodiac. Now Zodiac, it's weird because I love David Fincher. The movie's beautiful. The story, for some reason, I kept thinking it would end some other way than it did, because we know that the Zodiac killer hasn't been caught still to this day. This was filmed in the early aughts or late aughts, and just David Fincher's a master. He's so good. Everything he does is beautiful and colorful and just steady paced. Really liked it. Didn't think I would, but I did. I figured I would because it's David Fincher, but just the idea of the Zodiac killer, I didn't think I would, but I did. And then I peeped out In the Aftermath. This is kind of an interesting movie. It's animation, like Japanimation mixed with real live action, apocalyptic sort of deal. It's good. It's not great, but worth your time if you want to check it out. And I peeped out Malice in the Palace on Netflix, about the Detroit Pistons Indiana Pacers brawl, a little documentary they had. It's pretty good. It's actually really good. All I knew was things from what I'd seen while it happened or during that time frame from like ESPN and all the news channels and everything, so it's obviously diluted, and they kind of break down everything in slow motion and all the people and what really happened. And if you're into basketball or you remember that, it's very entertaining. It's pretty short. It's like an hour long, but Malice in the Palace. Malice in the Palace. And finally this week I watched Red Mob, which is some crazy, cheesy action flick, I believe filmed in Russia, or at least put out by Russians or Ukrainians. And it's high action. There's helicopters and blowing up and all that good stuff. I'd peep it out. It's not bad. If you like cheesy 80s action, it's freaking fantabulous. And then I just finished reading. It took me a couple weeks. It was pretty big. American War Poetry, an anthology. This is actually pretty good. It's interesting. It's a bunch of different poets. It goes from the colonial wars to the Gulf War, and just different poems throughout that time. I wanted to read one here, just to kind of give you a little insight from it. But it's got Emily Dickinson, Waldo. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a couple in here that I'm like, oh, dude, these are so good. Here Bullet by Brian Turner, who was born in 1967, so this is like the Gulf period. If a body is what you want, then here is bone and gristle and flesh. Here is the clavicle snapped wish, the aorta's opened valves, the leap thought makes as the synaptic gap. Here is the adrenaline rush you crave, that inexorable flight, that insane puncture into heat and blood, and I dare you to finish what you've started. Because here, bullet, here is where I complete the word you bring, hissing through the air. Here is where I moan the barrel's cold esophagus, triggering my tongue's explosives for the rifling I have inside of me, each twist of the round spun deeper. Because here, bullet, here is where the world ends every time. And that's super powerful. And that's kind of from that thing, but there's some really famous poets in here. Let me see. I'm just gonna grab another random one because I'll do a short one. I don't want to do one of these long ones. But yeah, they kind of go through the Vietnam War and everything. The colonial ones are just kind of way out there. This guy by Hayden Carruth, from he was born in 1921 in the Vietnam War era section. On being asked to write a poem against the war in Vietnam. Well, I have, in fact, more than one, and I'll tell you this too. I wrote one against Algeria, that nightmare, and another against Korea, and another against the one I was in, and I don't remember how many against the three. When I was a boy, Abyssinia, Spain, and Harlan County, and not one breath was restored to one shattered throat, man's, woman's, or child's, not one. But death went on and on, never looking aside, except now and then like a child with a furtive half smile to make sure I was noticing. So obviously, it's best of the best for poetry. We love poetry. I got some new music coming out. I did a noise album, Disquisitive. I'm going to do a little short film sort of thing with it, so peep it out here on the channel if you can. Also, if you like, you can subscribe. As you see, trying to get those numbers up. And rock and roll. Read more books. Stay amazing. Podcast Jebuth.